Okay, this is conference 24, and this is the life and the level of being. And we may think that the level of being depends on how many years we went to school, how many years we study, what is it that we do. But the level of being has nothing to do with our exterior, what we do on the outside. So our goal in this session is to understand uh, that we have an answer for our questions. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where? What are we living for? Why are we living? Um, we need to learn how to truly recognize our level of being and learn how to elevate it. So we should know how to transform naturally our level of being. So our transformation begins from within, so we can transform our life. So the first step is to reflect on life itself. We need to ask ourselves a fundamental question. Like I said, who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? And these are very profound questions, and that most of us have at one point in our lives we have asked ourselves. So, and the reason why we don't know is because we are unaware of the true purpose of our life, of our existence. We just don't know the hidden causes behind our tragedies, and we are convinced that we know everything. That we need to just live on an external way. So we need to find out the root causes of our suffering, the real reason why we go through we experience what we do. This is according to our level of being. So, in fact, we have the power to transform our lives and put an end to the suffering once and for all. So, like I said, we believe that we have level our being depends on money, prestigious degrees, social status, um, physical appearance, how we look, and we proudly convince ourselves that we are strong, but um, but as soon as life strikes us with any kind of natural disaster or tragedy or financial collapse or painful loss and illness, we feel that we are miserable. We feel just down and unhappy. So we need to, we also see that if we have a partner, we believe that our happiness relies on having a loving partner, a job, a stable job, uh, physical appearance, family, fame, wealth, prestige. And once we attain all of these things, something happens that is unexpected, so we are not happy. We feel dissatisfied. And all the hopes that we had for this external happiness, it's gone down the drain. Um, so this is we ignore the secret root of our tragedies. Why is it that we suffer? And we may believe that in we are evolving, we are going to be a superior race in the future. But if we see that there's no evolution in life because we are the same barbarians that we were in the past. In fact, we're going down in evolution, and we are actually deteriorated. We live in an age that everything is more and more. There's more fornication, more violence. So uh, we believe because of the technological advancements that everything is going to is improving, but actually is the other way around. So no amount of external change can bring the internal or spiritual advancements that we need. So, through transformation of the masses of humanity, it comes first from within. So, from us as individuals. So, today's society is full of problems, and this is what we carry inside. So, even though we think we're strong, because we have certain diplomas or we achieve certain things, if we were to be left alone in the forest, perhaps we would see how weak we are. We are just intellectual beings. Um, so it's we are actually very very weak, and our regardless of whatever we are poor or rich or educated or uneducated, we well known, young or old, um, we see that our inner state attracts what we are. It's it attracts is the inner state that attracts the circumstances that we experience in life. For example, a lustful person is constantly going to attract situations and scenes of lustful people and painful dramas. A violent person is going to attract situations and other people of violence or situations that are violent. He's going to attract them, and that is according to his level of being. So the alcoholic, he's going to find himself finding attracting bars, um, cantinas, other alcoholics, and drinking buddies, friends, and in places that are similar to that kind of environment of alcohol. So, what about someone who is greedy or selfish? Is what are they going to attract? They're going to attract people that are also greedy and selfish, and is going to attract misfortunes, prison, etc. This is by the law of correspondence, and we always draw into our lives people or circumstances that match our level of being. So this is what happens to us yesterday is going to happen to us tomorrow, and it's happening to us right now. So we continue making the same mistakes, trapped in the same cycles, never learning deeper life's real lessons that we hear. So the same regrets. We think that maybe in the future we're going to be better someday. So as long as our level of being remains the same, the misery, the conflict, and the misfortune will repeat endlessly. It's going to keep repeating over and over. Because everything that we experience externally, it is a reflect of what we carry within inside. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. So um, when we begin to change internally, we are going to be able to change externally too. And yeah, we may think we are evolving because of technology, but it's the other way around. We are in evolution. So we can go to a higher level if we don't first become aware that we are here now. And we can if we don't know which psychological defects are keeping us stuck, causing anxiety, sadness, conflict, all of those disappointments, struggles, all the problems we have with our family, with our people around us, and if we won't be able to eliminate them, so we won't be able to change for the better. So to better grasp, to better see this, we can imagine, we can visualize a great staircase stretching from the lowest to the highest. And in each step of this staircase, there's a level of being, and there are higher states and lower states. Some are more conscious, some are lower. So in this vertical stair, goes from bottom up, the vertical line. This represents all the levels of the being. So each step it's an inner state. Each person occupies a different level according to our inner reality. So now let's imagine a horizontal line, the line of life. This horizontal line, I'm sorry, represents time. So in this other line, here's where we are born, grow up, get married, have children, and we eventually grow old and die. So our personality is formed on the horizontal line, but the being, our inner essence, it belongs to the vertical line, not the horizontal line. So it exists, but in us right now, beyond the passage of time, um, there's a higher level. Okay, time does not exist. So there is a higher level, a step above. So from moment to moment, if we are observing our defects, we can raise our level of being. Um, we can raise our level of being from that horizontal line when you just die and everything is external and it has a date, an expiration date. And the vertical line, the inner being is eternal, is forever. So now we understand how we can transform our life, our exterior life, by transforming our inner life because our inner being is eternal. So the way how we can raise this is to identify, first of all, the level of being in which we find ourselves. And we can do this by paying close attention to whatever we are attracting into our lives. If we see that what kind of things are repeating into our lives, if we see a lot of alcoholic people, we see a lot of liars, maybe we have a lot of hypocrites around us. We have a lot of people that are compulsive liars, mythomaniacs. Um, Whatever we have around us, if we take a moment to reflect on the qualities of those people on our environment, the people around us, people that are maybe that tend to get angry, that tend to violence, then they're greedy, maybe they're complaining. Those are the people that are attracted to us according to our level of being. They are a reflection of what we carry inside. So this is a mirror of what our current level of being is. So instead of judging others, we need to judge ourselves. What, not the outside, how these people are, all the defects that these people have, but if we must look inward and start observing our defects, those defects that we have inside of us that we see on the outside, we can start eliminating, and our inner work can begin. Once we begin to recognize the level of being, our moral and psychological state is going to is going to start changing. So um, mm, there's also a driving force that's going to push us to not to do the work, to just go with everyone else, just go along with everybody else, and this is a force that is going to oppose our work. So we need to take a risk stepping out of the comfort zone, our comfort zone, and break free from all the old patterns and all this because real transformation requires courage. So we need to understand how important it is to raise our level of being. First of all, recognizing what we have inside of us, all the defects that we have. What am I attracting? The different people around me and the pleasant or unpleasant circumstances of life. So this is the beginning, and this there's no future for the horizontal life. Everyone is just trapped in a cycle, and they they just keep on and grow and die. This is what you can call the mechanical life. So we see our interior is our exterior. So um, here it is. So every person that we attract into our lives is there for a reason. So, what begins to happen once we see our psychological defects? We start eliminating them. A portion of the trapped consciousness that that particular defect had, it is being released, and we began to free wisdom, awareness. We start seeing. We go stop going a step upward. So it takes an effort, a real effort to change our level of being. We'll see that we don't, where we had arguments before, we don't feel an urge to argue. When we attracted maybe alcoholic people before, we don't attract the same kind of people. We are going to see how our exterior starts to change. So we start to see results. So we see with coworkers, with family, we start seeing how all around us starts changing. We start to resonate with something different in our lives. So as we raise, um, recover the light of consciousness, we see how we see this different. So this is what we are attracting, and to change our lives, we start seeing a difference in our lives, and so we see higher results. And here's the fine example. Um, Here is the vertical line, the horizontal line, and how this is just the past and the future. And there's a mathematical point in between. And this is our present. This is how where we can find our here and now, how we can be closer to our inner God, to our awareness. So this is the momentum that is going to help us understand where we find ourselves. So we began by observing ourselves. We can do that by being in the present, by being here and now. Um, so this is what is called the psychological rebellion. When you are a psychological rebellious, I'm sorry, you start, uh, you come out of the exterior of the external of the horizontal line to go in the vertical line, and this is the eternal line. This is the line that is, it has no time, it doesn't belong to time, and this is where we find um, the wisdom of the consciousness. So where you used to have suffering, now you have happiness. Where you used to have hatred or revenge, now you have a different point of view. So we need to reach a different level of consciousness, and not criticize what we see, the defects that we see in others. When we criticize, we hinder ourselves. We not only gain karma, and we put ourselves below the ones that we are criticizing, but we gain, we don't see what we are criticizing is what we have inside. So this is the consciousness, the rebellious of the revolution of consciousness, to the three factors of the revolution. So remembering to not identify with the problems of life. Everything transforms. Reactions are everything that we moves inside of us. Or every reaction, everything that we have, um, and this is the real transformation. Instead of seeing things on the external side and criticizing others, or seeing the defects of others as if they were external to us, as if they were unfamiliar to us. When we start seeing that all of those defects and psychological mistakes that are on other people, those are the ones that we are attracting to ourselves. Those is the pattern of other people that we are attracted. It is a pattern, like I said, of angry people, violent people, alcoholics, gossipers, people that tend to get to rage, to get angry. Everything that we see. if we start observing then ourselves and eliminating those same defects within ourselves, then we can see how we start attracting different people. We start attracting different situations in our lives because we will raise our level of being and we can no longer attract the level of being that we had. So this is real transformation, and that was it for today. We need to be psychological rebellious. That was it for today, young ladies. And thank you, Carly.